Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy 2022! New year, new goals, new plants, of course. Anyway, in today's video I'm going to be doing some plant chores. I've made a little list of things that I need to do in my gorgeous little notebook that I got for Christmas. I have quite a few plant tasks to do today. I don't know if I'll get them all done in today's video, but we will see what we can accomplish. Husband and baby have gone out for the morning, so I've got the house to myself to film a video and just spend some time taking care of my plants. Let me tell you what I have on my list. So I need to water my Gloriosum and my Edinsoniae, which is on a pole. I need to repot my large Thai constellation because it's kind of stopped growing. It's just looking a little bit sad and there's roots coming out the bottom, so it definitely needs a pot upgrade. I am going to propagate my Melanochrysum. Let me show you why. I don't know what it is with Melanos, but I just don't really have much luck. But if you can see the new growth, it is growing all demented and all deformed. It's a bit leggy, so I'm going to chop and propagate this plant. I do have another Melano, which is doing better, so I'm going to chop and prop that one. I have to repot my Edinsoniae. Because if you watched my video where I potted up my Edinsoniae with this grow pole, it was an awkward cutting because it hadn't had a new growth point yet, and now that it's got a new growth point, it's actually growing away from the pole rather than towards the pole. So I'm going to repot this and just flip it around 180, so this growth point is now against the pole, so it can grow up rather than grow out this way. So that is on today's to-do list, but besides that, it is growing. So if you watched my video, I will link it down below. It didn't have any growth points and it's just put out this new leaf, so that's exciting. So I've got to do that as well. I have to book some couriers for a couple of plants. I have to repot some Ludicea discolor, which are like the little jewel orchids. I propagated my one because it had a really long stem and then a little bit of growth out the top, so I cut the stem up into pieces and they've all been successful, so they've all growing new little plants, so I'll show you that. And I need to water some plants in my bedroom. I do need to repot some of them as well. I've got this big Rhaphidophora tetrasperma that has like a big bamboo hoop which I need to repot, but I might actually do that in a separate video. So if you want to see that in a separate video, let me know in the comment box below and I will do a separate repot video. I do have another exciting video coming up all about like plant support, so fern poles, moss poles, planks of wood, grow verticals, all that kind of stuff. So if you are interested in learning and seeing what kind of poles or plant supports there are, let me know in the comment box below if that's something you'd like to see, because I'd really like to make a video on that. I'm out of breath. Okay, so without too much more rambling, let's just get straight into the plant chores. So the first thing I'm going to do, because it's right here, is water my beautiful Philodendron Gloriosum. Have it in a long pot and it has a saucer on the bottom which I can take off. I don't know if you can see, but it has some roots growing out the bottom, and I bottom water this, so I fill up my sink with water and I just let it sit and I let it drink from the bottom up. Because I did find with this plant, because it has so much soil in, I had a bit of a fungus gnat issue, but since I've been watering it from the bottom up, I haven't had any fungus gnats. So that is a tip if you find you are dealing with lots of fungus gnats, is they live and lay their eggs in moist soil. So if you let the top 2 inches of your soil dry out, that can help reduce them, and also if you bottom water your plants, that can help reduce fungus gnats as well. So let's go to my laundry. Okay, so this is my Edinsoniae that needs to be watered. It is in a terracotta pot, so it's been drying out so quickly in summer. But I don't know if you can see that the leaves are like curling in, they're not sitting out nice and flat. That is a really good telltale sign that your plants need water. And obviously you can always stick your finger in and the soil is dry quite a way down. So I'm going to pop this in the sink, and I'm also going to pop my Glory next to it. Okay, so let me show you. So there I've got my two plants just sitting in the sink, and these will probably sit here for majority of the day, or until I notice that when I stick my finger down in the soil and I can feel moisture, that is when I know that enough moisture has been sucked up through the soil. So they're just going to chill out there, and I'm going to get stuck on to my other tasks for the day. So if you can see in here, minus all these little ferny growths, they are my Ludicea discolor propagations, and as you can see they're all growing little leaves. They're just little chunks of node. Can't really pull one out to show you, but when I repot them I will show you. But yeah, they were all successful, all propagated in fern fiber. That's another thing I'm going to do a video on, is all about fern fiber. I just love using fern fiber, and as you can tell by all the little growth seeds, it's an amazing natural medium that you can use, and it's just full of life. So I love using fern fiber. But anyway, that is the little Ludiceas that I'm going to repot. I'm going to repot them into fern fiber, but just into their own separate little pots. So that is one I've got to do as well. I guess we will go out to the greenhouse where I can do my repotting. So I'll see you outside. Actually, just kidding. Before I go outside, I'm going to propagate my Milano because I want to put it into this prop box. So this is my wet stick box, and basically a wet stick is just a node of a plant that has sort of no leaf, no roots, nothing, but it has a node and it has a auxiliary bud. So any plants I cut up that have viable nodes, I just chuck them into this box, which is full of live sphagnum moss. So as you can see, the moss is actually growing, and I find that anything live, like the live sphagnum moss, the fern fiber, anything that's alive and full of life, really, plants absolutely thrive in it, because obviously that is what they are growing in their natural habitat. So say a branch or a vine gets knocked off in a storm, it falls to the ground floor. The ground floor is covered in like leaf litter and moss and decaying plants and sticks and things like that. So that is what plants naturally thrive in. So if you're going to use moss for propagation, I highly recommend using live moss. It just works so much better than the dried moss that you rehydrate with water. Same with fern fiber. It is a natural sort of like living, not living, but it's from a living plant. It comes from a tree fern. It's got all that life in it, so everything that you put in it is going to thrive. Anyway, I'm on a tangent. So yeah, I'm going to propagate my Milano and chuck the wet sticks into my wet stick box. I've already gone through this morning and taken out all the little wet sticks that have grown leaves and roots, and I have transplanted them, so I've made a little bit of room in here. But that is what I'm going to do now. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop up this guy. Yeah, I'm just going to chop him up into individual nodes. He's not doing the greatest, and it's kind of really annoying me. So I am going to cut the tip cutting off. So that is the tip cutting. And then, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see, but this is where I've taken the last propagation. So if I was to cut the plant here, this node is already what they call a spent node, meaning it has already shoot an offshoot from that node. So if I cut it here, this whole node here would no longer be viable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this node attached, and I'm going to make the cut here. So then all the roots can grow here, and then the new growth can come from this node, which is a viable node that hasn't had a growth point from it yet. So make the cut there. This guy's actually rooted into the pole a little bit. So let me just... Oh, actually... Okay, cool. I can actually, upon further inspection, if I can show you what I mean. Okay, so if you can see down in here, that little thing there, that is what they call an auxiliary bud. So that is where new growth is going to come from. So I can actually cut this because there is a little node that's growing in here that hasn't developed a leaf. So it's growing, pushed this node out, hasn't developed into anything, and then it's growing up to this node, which then did have the first leaf. So I can actually cut this, so I can get 2 viable cuttings from this. So I am going to do that. Let's put that one there. That is a wet stick. So wet stick, basically, terminology means it's an alive stick that'll grow into a plant. So if it's got an auxiliary bud, that is where it's going to sprout from, and it's going to sprout a new plant. So I have 3 cuttings so far. I'm going to make another cut here. And, oh, it didn't go all the way through. And this one here, because I have propagated this plant before, its auxiliary bud has already activated and it has a new shoot there. So this one will probably start growing pretty quickly. It has got some nice aerial roots on it there, so that is a good little cutting. Another nice cutting. I'm actually going to cut the leaves off these, so they're just wet sticks rather than cuttings with leaves on. Here is another wet stick. And I'm just going to check down in the soil. Oh yes, there is one more node right down at the base here which has an auxiliary bud, so I can take the last cutting. So basically I'm going to leave that little stick down in there which has an auxiliary bud, so that's going to regrow a new plant. So I've still got the base of the plant. And if you look over here, these are all my propagations that I have got from that plant. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 propagations. I'm going to cut the leaves off a few of these, or just gently pull them off. And the reason I like to pull the leaves off is because it's less sort of material to rot. You can leave the leaves on, however, but I just choose not to. They take up too much room in the prop box, and yeah, it can just lead to rot. So I will be taking the leaves off, even though they are very beautiful. I'm so sorry. I'm going to leave the leaf on this tip cutting though, and this tip cutting I'm going to put into a little pot of fern fibre and put that in my greenhouse. But all these node cuttings I'm going to sit into my my moss prop box. And basically that is sort of what they look like, just sitting along here. And yeah, I'm just going to leave them in my windowsill until they sprout. It is as simple as that. 500 degrees outside already in my greenhouse. Whew. It's hot. So I'm going to go and repot the Edinsoniae and repot the Ludicea as quickly as possible, because I don't want to be in that greenhouse any longer than I have to be, because it's hot. I thought I would just show you how full my greenhouse is at the moment, not being able to ship plants over the holiday period. These are all my Hoya. Let me know if you'd like another Hoya update, because I have acquired a few more Hoya to the collection. This girl is looking beautiful. So yeah, let me know in the comments below if you'd like another updated Hoya collection video. I am planning on doing a Hoya care guide video as well. It's hot, so I'm probably just going to do the Edinsoniae first, because it hopefully should be an easy fit, although I can see that the roots are already kind of intertwined with the grow pole, so I don't know how well I'm going to be able to actually. That was quite easy. So basically I'm just going to flip it around and put it in there rather than actually fully repotting the plant. I think that might be the best bet if I can do it gently. Make sure there's no if I crush some roots, well, Edinsoniae are pretty hardy, so I'm sure he'll be alright. Okay, well that was actually a lot quicker and a lot less painful than what I thought it was going to be, which is always good. Might just tuck some soil in, some fern fibre in behind it to just keep it nice and secure and straight. Basically just what I did in the repot video with these. I just flipped it around the other side, and now the plant is actually growing towards the pole. So that was nice and easy. I like quick and easy fixes like that. So now I'm going to be repotting these little Ludicea and this Milano, the Milano tip cutting that I took. So I'm going to be using my 7cm clear pots, and I'm going to be using fern fibre as well. So okay, just as I went to record that, my camera card was full. So where was I? Yeah, so I'm going to put this Milano in fern fibre. I'm sorry if the lighting is terrible. The sun is coming right into the greenhouse, making it very, very, very hot. And I am sweating. So the quicker I can get this done, the quicker I can get out of here, the better. Okay, nice and simple. Potted up the little Milano. This is going to go in one of my prop boxes inside, just so I can keep an eye on it. So that's that done. Now I'm going to try and get these Ludicea babies. Oh, well that one fell out. That one hasn't got a root on yet, but oh, I don't know how well you're going to see. It does have a new growth, so that's good. I'm going to reuse this fern fibre too to pot these up in. Can't tell if it's focused on it, but there's one. Oh, this one's got a good root on it. There is another one with a really good root on. There is another one. And that little guy. So I've got 5 of them. So that's cool. Just gonna mash the fernie up, probably mix some more in because I don't think that'll be enough to fill 5 pots with. And again, I'm going to be using the 7cm clear pots because they are my favourite. I'm just going to gently pack it in, make a little nest for the little rootie. So this is where the little Ludicea discolor babies are going to live until they grow a few more leaves, and then they will be available on my shop. I'm thinking of making them into some cute little glass terrariums. I think that would be quite cool. And this is a prop box full of all my anthurium babies, which are going to go up on my shop on the 20th of January, so keep an eye out for that. I will link my shop down below. Unfortunately, it's for New Zealanders only, but yeah. Okay, so I have managed to tick most things off my list, which is awesome. The only thing I haven't done is water the bedroom plants, but I don't know, I might do that a bit later. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sit down on my computer and I'm going to book the couriers for the 3 plants that I have to send. But other than that, I think that is all for this video. I've done all my plant chores. It has taken me about an hour and a half to do it all. So I'm pretty happy, like I managed to smash them out. The boys are still out, which is good. So I'm going to do a bit of work now, and yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little plant chore video. Let me know if any of the ideas I've suggested in this video for future videos. Let me know if you like those ideas and if you have any other suggestions. That would be amazing. But thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like planting content, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! In their natural habitat. That is what they are growing in.